You ever notice how sometimes, when you're just sitting there silent, calm, she suddenly shifts? Her voice softens. Her glance lingers longer than usual. Her whole energy melts. And in your head, you brush it off. She's just in a good mood today. But what if I told you it was you who triggered it without even realizing? Like when you leaned back, relaxed, without chasing her, and she suddenly leaned in. You probably thought it was random. But it wasn't. That soft side of hers. It doesn't just appear. It's pulled out by very specific behaviors most guys never even notice they're doing. Did you trigger it without knowing? Or have you been missing it all along? If you've ever seen that sudden shift in her when she just feels softer around you, drop a in the comments. Stay until the end. You'll never look at these moments the same way again. Sit across from her, the low hum of the cafe buzzing around you. The scent of roasted coffee lingers in the air, soft music playing in the background. She's talking, filling the space between you with words, laughter, little bursts of nervous energy. But you're calm. Still. You lean back slightly, your arm resting casually on the chair. You aren't rushing to speak. You aren't fidgeting with your cup or scrambling for the next clever thing to say. You simply listen. You take a slow sip of your drink, eyes steady, a faint, almost knowing smile at the corner of your lips. And something happens. Her shoulders soften. Her voice lowers. Her words slow down, and she begins to lean toward you, almost involuntarily. You didn't even notice. Most guys would think she's just comfortable, or that she was in a good mood before the date even started. But here's the truth one most men never realize. Her softness is not random. It's a reaction. Women are profoundly sensitive to masculine stillness. When a man becomes calm, grounded, centered, it's magnetic. It's disarming. It makes her feel safe enough to relax into her feminine energy. And yet, so many guys do the exact opposite. They talk too much. They rush their words, fill every pause, chase her approval with nervous jokes or constant validation. They're afraid of silence, but silence is where she feels you. It's not about acting alpha. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about being fully present, but relaxed. Imagine this scene again. She's leaning forward now, asking more questions about you. Her body language softens. Her legs cross toward you. Her fingers slowly play with her glass. And you're still calm, watching, listening, leading with nothing but your stillness. Most men never see this power. But you will. Next time you're with her, try this. Slow your speech just a bit, 10%. Lean back. Let the pauses stretch. Watch her body language shift before your eyes. She won't know why, but she'll feel it, and that's just the beginning. There's something almost electric about eye contact. It's subtle, invisible, but it lingers in the air like static before a storm. Picture this. You're mid-conversation with her, a playful moment. Maybe she's teasing you, throwing some sarcastic comment your way, testing the waters, waiting to see how you'll react. Most guys would laugh nervously or glance away, afraid to hold that gaze for too long. But you stay still. Your eyes stay locked on hers, calm, unmoving. There's no tension in your face, no neediness in your stare. You're just there, watching her. And in that moment, something shifts. Her voice catches slightly. She stumbles over her next words. Her cheeks flush, just a little, as she looks away and smiles to herself. And right there, right in that tiny, barely noticeable flicker, she softens. You probably thought she was just embarrassed. Or maybe she got shy out of nowhere. But here's what really happened. She felt seen. Because here's a truth most men will never fully grasp. A woman's softness often emerges when she feels truly seen, not for her looks, not for her charm, but for who she is beneath it all. And nothing triggers that faster than steady, consistent eye contact. But it's not about staring her down like some creep in a dark corner of a bar. It's about relaxed intensity, holding her gaze not to dominate her, but to witness her. When you do that, you create an unspoken signal. You say, without words, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not chasing you. I'm simply here, watching, listening. And that is disarming in a way most men can't even comprehend. It flips a switch inside her. Suddenly, she's the one feeling exposed. Suddenly, she wants to soften, to lean in, to match your emotional presence. Here's what you need to remember. When she shares something vulnerable, maybe a story about her childhood, her fears, or even a silly dream, don't look away. Don't nervously glance at your phone or down at your drink. Hold her gaze just a second longer than feels comfortable. Watch what happens. She soften. Every single time. Most men miss this. But you won't. Because now you understand that eye contact isn't just a tool. It's a mirror. And sometimes, what she sees reflected back is exactly what she's been longing for. There's a certain kind of moment that every man dreads. The moment when she gets upset, emotional. Maybe it starts small, a disagreement over something trivial, a tone misunderstood, a playful joke taken the wrong way. And suddenly, there's tension. Her voice rises, her eyes narrow. The air thickens between you like an approaching storm. Most guys panic here. They match her intensity. They defend themselves too fast, too harsh. They explain, justify, argue, trying to fix it, trying to win. But all they really do is escalate. You've probably been there. That sinking feeling in your chest, watching everything spiral because you couldn't stop yourself from reacting. But let me show you what most men never see. You're sitting with her, and she's visibly irritated. Maybe her words are sharp, her face tense. But instead of reacting, you stay still. You take a breath slow, deep, steady. You let her finish speaking. You don't interrupt. You don't rush to correct her. You just listen. And in that moment, you feel something strange. Control. You're no longer tangled in her storm. You're the calm center of it. And here's where the magic happens. She starts to slow down. Her tone softens. The fire behind her words dims. It's as if your calm energy is absorbing her chaos, grounding her back to reality. She may not even realize it, but deep down, she feels something powerful. Safety. Because here's the truth few men grasp: emotional grounding is hypnotic. Women aren't just attracted to looks or charm or status. They're drawn to the man who can remain calm when others can't. The man who doesn't flinch at her emotions, but welcomes them with quiet strength. It's biological. It's psychological. It's ancient. When she feels your emotional steadiness, her defenses melt away. Her softness emerges, not because you fixed the problem, but because you didn't get pulled into it. You're the anchor in the storm. The next time this happens, because it will remember this moment. When she gets heated, don't rush to solve it. Don't interrupt. Pause. Breathe. Let the silence stretch just a little longer than feels natural. Then speak calmly, slowly, firmly. That pause, that breath, it's not weakness. It's power. Feel it instantly. Her voice will soften. Her body will relax. Her eyes will start to seek yours again. And she won't even fully understand why she feels safer, more connected, more drawn to you. But you will. Because now, it's a crowded room. Music pulses softly in the background, voices mixing into an indecipherable blur. She's walking just ahead of you, weaving through people, her eyes scanning for a familiar face, a quiet corner, a way out of the noise. And then, without thinking, you reach out. Your hand finds the small of her back. Gentle, steady, not forceful, not demanding. Just there, guiding her through the crowd with a subtle, protective presence. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't pull away. In fact, she smiles faintly, almost imperceptibly, and leans slightly into your touch, allowing herself to be led. You probably wonder, was that too forward? Did you cross a line? But here's what you didn't realize. That small gesture, that simple, fleeting touch, it wasn't just about moving through a room. It was about something deeper. Women are acutely sensitive to how a man touches them. And it's not about sexuality, not here. It's about intent, energy, presence. When you touch her with calm, steady confidence, without hesitation, without seeking anything in return, you send an unspoken message. You're safe here. And that message triggers something primal. Suddenly, she softens. She becomes more aware of your presence. Her guard drops. Her voice becomes warmer, lighter. She feels seen, protected, led not in a domineering way, but in a way that allows her to relax into her natural femininity. Most men miss this completely. They either avoid touch altogether, afraid of making her uncomfortable, or they rush it, touching too soon, too forcefully, chasing some reaction. But here's the truth. The most powerful touches aren't loud. They're subtle, purposeful, fleeting. The hand on her back as you guide her through a crowd. The brief touch on her arm as you lean in to whisper something. The steady, calm hand that helps her down a step or out of a car. It's not about the touch itself. It's about what it communicates. Confidence, protection, presence. Next time you're walking with her, whether through a crowded room or just down the street, try it. Place your hand gently at the small of her back for a brief moment. Lead her just for a step or two. Then let go. Don't force it. Don't overthink it. Just notice how she melts. She may not even realize why she's suddenly smiling, why she feels drawn to you in that moment. But you'll know, because this isn't an accident. It's presence. And you've just mastered it. It always starts with something simple, something small. You're sitting with her, maybe at a dimly lit bar, or out on a park bench as the city hums in the background. She's mid-sentence, talking about her day, her ambitions, the little things most people don't even ask her about. And then you say it. You don't even think much of it. You're not trying to be smooth or impressive. You just speak your truth, casually, almost absent-mindedly. You have a really calming energy. And the second those words leave your mouth, everything shifts. She pauses, caught off guard. Her eyes soften, her breath catches for a second, and a faint blush appears, like she's suddenly seeing herself through your eyes. It wasn't the compliment itself. It wasn't flashy or rehearsed. It wasn't about her body or her looks. It wasn't needy, begging for her approval. It was rare, sincere, unexpected. See, here's what most men don't understand. Women hear compliments all the time on their beauty, their bodies, their clothes. But compliments like that, they're surface level, transactional. They don't stick. But when a man notices something deeper, something intangible, something that most people overlook, it cuts through everything. And makes her feel seen in a way that most men are too distracted, too self-absorbed, or too afraid to tap into. And here's the paradox. The less you need her to respond, the more powerful the compliment becomes. It's the difference between saying it to get something and saying it because you simply noticed it. In that moment, you weren't chasing her validation. You weren't trying to impress her. You were simply acknowledging what was real. And that's why it works. After you say it, watch what happens. She starts leaning in more during the conversation. Her tone will soften. Her eyes will linger on you a little longer. Not because you flattered her, but because you touched a part of her most men can't even see. Here's your challenge. In your next interaction, whether it's a date, a friend, or even just a passing conversation, find something non-physical about her energy, her mindset, her essence, and name it. Do it without expectation, without forcing it. Watch how she reacts. You'll see her soften. You'll feel her lean in, because you're no longer just another guy noticing her looks. You're the rare man who sees her. And once she feels that, she won't forget it. It's funny how quiet moments can say the loudest things. She's sitting there, phone in hand, waiting for your reply. She's used to attention. She's used to men jumping at every text, double texting, chasing every little digital breadcrumb she drops. But you don't play that game. You saw her message. You read it, and you smile to yourself. Before slipping your phone back into your pocket and going back to whatever you were doing, you didn't ignore her to be rude. You didn't delay to manipulate her. You just weren't in a rush. You were present with your own life. And that's exactly why she can't stop thinking about you. Later that week, you see her again. In person, she's different. Her eyes search you more. Her laughs last a little longer. Her touches linger, barely noticeable but deliberate. She leans in, waiting for your attention. You didn't change anything about how you behaved. You weren't cold. You weren't distant. You were just calm. Because here's the secret most men never learn. Mystery isn't created by playing games or acting aloof. It's born from genuine contentment without her attention. Women can feel when a man isn't dependent on their validation. It's magnetic, irresistible, and it creates a subtle, undeniable pull. It triggers something ancient inside her, a curiosity, a need to understand you, to unlock you, to earn your attention. When you're not chasing her, she leans in to chase you. But here's where most guys go wrong. They hear this and start faking it, waiting hours to reply just to look cool, withholding affection on purpose. That's not mystery. That's manipulation. And women can sniff it out instantly. True controlled. Indifference isn't about pretending. It's about genuinely living in a way where you prioritize yourself, your goals, your peace, your present moment over anyone else's validation. And when you do that, something incredible happens. When you're with her, you're fully present, calm, attentive. But when you're apart, you're absent. Not because you're punishing her, but because your life is full. And that contrast, that's what draws her in. She starts to wonder, why doesn't he need me like the others do? She begins to soften around you, not because you demanded it, but because your presence feels rare, priceless, something to savor. Here's your challenge. Dial back your digital urgency. Stop chasing every notification. When you're with her, give her your full attention. But when you're apart, let her feel your absence. Let her feel the space between and watch what happens. Her softness will surface naturally, almost unconsciously. She'd lean in. She'd chase closeness, because nothing makes her soften faster than the man who doesn't need her softness to feel whole. Here's the irony. Chances are, you've already triggered her softness before, without even trying, without even knowing. It happens in those rare moments when you're not chasing, not thinking, not trying to impress. Moments when you're simply lost in your own world, focused, calm, content. Maybe it was when you were sitting at that coffee shop, headphones in, locked into your work, unaware that she kept glancing at you from across the room. Maybe it was when you were out with your friends, laughing, completely immersed in your own fun, and she couldn't help but drift toward your energy. You weren't playing hard to get. You weren't following a script. You were just being you. That's what most men completely overlook. These behaviors, the stillness, the eye contact, the emotional grounding, the subtle touch, the authentic appreciation, the controlled indifference, they're not tricks. They're not tactics to manipulate her. They're natural byproducts of a man who's centered within himself, A man who has his own world, his own peace, his own sense of purpose. The softness you trigger in women is not something you earn by performing. It's something you attract by becoming. Let me tell you a story. There's this guy. Let's call him Daniel. He spent years chasing women, overanalyzing every text, watching endless videos about pickup lines and seduction techniques. He was exhausted. One day, after yet another failed attempt at winning some girl's attention, he gave up. He stopped trying to decode women. He stopped chasing validation. Instead, he turned inward. He started working out, not to impress anyone, but to feel stronger. He picked up hobbies he always pushed aside: playing guitar, hiking alone, reading about philosophy. He stopped texting women altogether, not out of anger, but because he was simply too busy enjoying his own life. Months later, something shifted. Women started noticing him, smiling at him, leaning in around him, initiating conversations. But the crazy part? He wasn't doing anything different with them. He wasn't following any script. He had simply become the man women naturally soften around. That's the secret. You don't chase her softness. You create it by chasing your own wholeness. Here's your final challenge. Spend more time doing the things that center you, whether it's solo workouts, long walks, creative projects, or simply sitting in quiet thought. The more rooted you are in yourself, the less you'll have to think about attracting anyone. You'll radiate it without effort, and she'll feel it instantly, because nothing is more magnetic than a man who is complete before she even enters the room. Let's bring it all together. Everything we just explored. It isn't complicated. It isn't some mind game or secret technique. It's something far simpler, something ancient, something every man has the potential to embody. Here's your reminder, your roadmap, your quiet checklist to carry with you silently, confidently. Lean back, slow down, embrace that masculine stillness. Watch her lean forward without even realizing it. Hold her gaze just a second longer than feels safe. Let her feel seen. Let her soften. Stay calm in the storms. Be her emotional anchor, the steady presence she can lean into when her world spins too fast. Guide her. Subtle, respectful touch, protective, not possessive. Watch how she relaxes under your hand. See her truly offer that rare, authentic appreciation, not for her looks, but for her essence. And finally, disappear just enough. Be fully present in your life. Let her feel the space. Let her crave your presence. Remember this. Her softness isn't something you chase. It's something you unlock. By becoming the man she instinctively softens around. And now, you know exactly how.